specialist. Thank you very much for coming here. And next to her is Vincent Sila, the developer of Safe Kids app. And last but not least is Martha Kimani, who is a child protection specialist. Thank you very much. So Vincent, since you are the developer, maybe you'll just explain to us what exactly is a Safe Kids app.
Yeah, actually it's Malaika app.
It's Malaika app,
yeah,
okay.
Safe Kids is just another function of the app that we use.
All right.
So Malaika, I'm not sure how we'd be able to show it on TV, but it's an app called Malaika. It's in the App Store. So you can just go to the Play Store and type Malaika Kenya. So the whole idea about Malaika Kenya is to allow parents to, or rather when a child gets lost, to get positive identification of that child. Because usually the problem is the child does not know the parent's number.
Yes.
Does not know where they live, does not know where they came from and all these things. So it allows you to quickly, once rescued, upon rescue, the police or even at the hospital or even at the mall, for instance, if they have the system, it shows the child's photograph and the details of the child, and then you as a parent, you get a text message with the Google Map location of where the child is.
All right.
Yeah, so it's a quick, so instead of keeping children in homes or taking them to COP stations to hold them there, because usually even, I think the case is like 50 children a day are taken to the courthouses, an average of 50 children a day.
Okay.
Yeah, of lost kids. So where are these kids been taken to? So we want to be able to assist them to quickly identify them and notify their parents the exact location of the children.
So as a parent, what do you need to do to get your details in the app?
Yeah, so once you just download the app, so it's free to download.
Okay.
And then so when you go to so there are different applications like finding maids and nannies, daycare centers, so all those things that are pertinent to a parent. But also, so the main thing is the child trace application. So you just enroll your child by taking their photo and putting in their details and everything.
All right.
And then also now, so when the child goes missing, you just click report missing. And so we are talking to media houses like KTN and other media houses so that, because you guys have a huge social media following, almost altogether, I think 8 million.
Yes.
So here you get, because people are not really on TV like the old days, like let's watch TV and see what's being alerted.
Yeah.
Gets on their phones. So the idea is let the 8 million people see the alerts of the lost child.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to tap into your followers. So you and all the other media houses, so that as soon as I report my kid missing, all these 8 million people are seeing the face of that child. And then when that child is rescued, now using the system, like so now I can use this. Let's show you just real quick. So the police and the malls will have this. So all they do is this and they scan the child. You can see already the details of the child comes up, the photo and the details, and then immediately the text message has come to the parents.
All right.
Yeah, so it's instantaneously. As soon as the child is found, the parent gets a text message immediately with a Google Map location of where the child is.
All right, so it's two gadgets. One, it's going to be with the police.
Yeah, or the hospital or whatever. Because actually, even with the hospitals, sometimes you can be unconscious.
Yes.
So it shows your vital medical data, like blood group, type, and also sends a message to your next of kin telling you where you are. So in this way, if they don't know your blood group or any allergies that the hospital already has the immediate data. So hospitals, the police, and now we're even talking to malls also, so that people are not really comfortable taking kids to police station.
Yes.
So we find like if there's a hospital there or a mall there that already has the gadgets, then they can do it. But the parents don't need any of this gadget. All they need is just an Android phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Martha, let me come to you. You're from Childline.
Yes.
You do a lot of rescuing. In a day, how many calls or help needs do you get?
Well, in Childline, we get various forms of abuse, reports from different people who are reporting different forms of abuse. In a day, we would say we receive like 100 to 150 calls of abuse from different people. They could be reporting to us through the toll-free 116, or they are using the social media. Yeah.
All right. I'll come to you, Jennifer. You're a child protection specialist. Maybe you can tell us what are the issues, some of the issues that lead to a child running away or a child going missing from a home or just a family.
So I'll start by saying I'm linked to Missing Child Kenya.
Okay, yes.
So we do, like you were with the first platform to trace missing children. And children miss because of a various of things. They went to the market and they got lost and they could not find their way home. Or a child is tired or angry with the parent, and especially the teenagers, the adolescents, a lot of them, because they are arguing a lot with their parents, and the parents, there's no that parent-child relationship, and they are tired of staying at home, they run away. And then the others who just run away to their boyfriends or something, or girlfriends.
Yes.
So because of peer pressure, we have those. And then we have abduction, where children are abducted.
Yes.
Like, for example, Kenya is on it's a red alert, like instead of trafficking of children, because we are a source. We are a transit. Like a lot of children pass through Kenya going to other countries. And also we are a destination. Children coming from Uganda, from Tanzania, like with the children on the streets. Right
Yes.
now, we have a huge number of Tanzanian children on the street begging, and because of that, you find children are missing because they are being trafficked, and some of them are being tracked inter-county, like in-country, like children coming from Busia. A report by Childline showed like Busia, Kakamega, and Bungoma have the highest number of trafficked children. Children coming to Nairobi, they are being trafficked, even older children, to be house helps in Nairobi. So that's a huge issue. And so that parent reports missing children. And that's why, like, for example, I believe personally, I use a lot of technology. I run an online platform for children. And I believe technology is an enabler. But sometimes you find there are places where you cannot find technology. And that's why, like, for example, we work very closely with the Department of Children's Services to ensure that we have notice boards. Okay. So, like, for example, what Vince is saying, when that child, for instance, has been reported missing, and that child is from Bungoma, that poster is sent directly to the Department of Children's Services. And the Department of Children is post it in the missing child board.
All right.
So as you're saying, there are various forms, and it's all over the country. Like, for example, in Nairobi, Mukuru is one of the highest. And because now most of them is children who have been abducted, children who have come to the street to beg,
Yes.
because of income and
Yes.
economic status of their family.
Vince, let me come to you. Earlier on, you talked about the 8 million viewers would get an alert. So do we also have to have that app for us to get the alert?
No. It's just like your followers who have subscribed to follow you guys. So they just get the alert through your... So it taps directly into that. So as soon as you report missing, it automatically also is tapped into your followers.
All right.
Yeah, so obviously if I'm a follower of KTN or whatever, then also I get that alert.
All right.
So it'd be almost like part of a social responsibility that you guys are doing to enable now for the general public to receive these alerts.
And then is there any age gap between maybe how old maximum should a child's details be there?
No. It's up to the parents how they feel, the child is at risk. But usually, as Jenny would say, I think the ones who are at risk are usually the school-going ones. After 13 and 14 and 15, usually it's not after, I think 15, it's not really high risk. But these ones who are usually, you've seen those ones who are walking to school all the time alone.
Yes.
They're so tiny. It's so, you feel so vulnerable, like how can they find their way to school? But so those are the ones that we're saying that for some reason they just lose concentration or whatever, and then they end up somewhere else and they have no idea where they are. But like she said also, and like Martha was saying, so other than that, it allows you to report an abuse. Okay. Because most of the challenges here is like, even when you have the one for the calling, it's like I would witness an abuse, but I'd want to call, but when I call, maybe the line is busy or it's dropped or whatever, so I just give up. So now this allows you now to choose your county and then choose the type of abuse that you witness and also take photos if possible, and then send your description of the abuse with more details and then the location of the abuse.
All right.
So it goes to their database. So they already get a database of it. So even if the call was dropped, but they have a database of like alerts of what the abuse is coming from. So now in the dashboard, they can see the types of abuse and from which county. So here you can map out, like you can say, emotional abuse is coming from this county, or FGM is being reported from this county. So it allows now the service providers to be able to actually offer services much.
Martha, you deal with these cases. After you get the calls, you go rescue the children. Where do you take them?
Well, we partner with various homes.
Okay.
So once we rescue a child, we just contact that home and tell them that we have this child that we would wish or we would want to place in your home. So we will place that child in that home as the process of looking out for their parents is ongoing. So mostly when we place these children, it's a temporary shelter. It's not a permanent shelter. Then once we have found the parents, then we can contact them and they can come for their children.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me come to you, Jennifer. You know, this issue is very saddening. And then, of course, as Martha said, you'd rescue a child and then take them to a home. But then do you provide counseling for the child? Because you've mentioned at times it's parents-children relationship. There are issues, maybe they're being abused. So then do you provide psychological help for them?
The government of Kenya has what is called the psychosocial guidelines, so which are being disseminated in all homes. And I know, for example, Childline, they provide at the point of rescue, because there are quite a number of stages. At the point of rescue, when a child is rescued, they are counselled. Like, for example, at Milimani Children's Court, which is one of the biggest children's court here, and where a lot of missing children find themselves, there's a counsellor. There's a counsellor who is a volunteer who counsels children. And I know that right now, like, the National Council of Administration of Justice has a program to ensure that there are counsellors, child counsellors in every court, to ensure that all children, as you come in, regardless of why you're in court, if you're a criminal or there's no criminal, if you are in conflict with the law, a child who is in conflict with the law, or the child is a victim, or is a child who is a need of care and protection, like a missing child, there's a counselor who helps you to go counseling. And so even in charitable children's institution, so it's a requirement. When the child is in the children's home, as you call it, they go through counseling. But if they go into a government facility, like in a rehab center, it's a rehab basically, and they go through counseling. If they go, for example, in a remand home or they go into a probation, there are counselors, trained counselors and psychologists, child psychologists who have been trained to do that, yes. And the fact that there's that guidelines, there's a willingness by government to be able to push psychosocial support for children who are victims of violence.
All right, Vincent, so far, how many people have enrolled in the apps and how many cases have been reported?
All right, so the app is on trial right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just, actually we're launching it officially next month. So we've just been doing the beta testing. Before you launch something, you have to to test it out, see how people are engaging with it. So until then, we'll be able to have the real data on that. But people are excited about it. And because not just for the child traceability, but also, like I said earlier, we've had other services that are pertinent to any parents. Like, for instance, the biggest problem is finding a vetted maid or nanny. And that's usually a problem for anybody. And also a maid would just call you and tell you, I'm not coming today. So what do? Start calling somebody that you think you know, but you don't really know them. So it's a serious problem. So what we've done is we've gone around and gotten maids who are trained. So you have an option as a parent to get, so we don't want to discriminate, because sometimes you might not have enough money to get the trained ones. So it's up to you. But the app gives you the option to choose a trained or untrained nanny. So you usually just find a nanny, pick your location, which county you are in, and all that, and then you go on to check. So it gives you a drop-down list of all the nannies available within your area.
All right.
And then also, if a nanny has been blacklisted, let's say she's been abusive to a child or whatever, all you do is just put her ID number. So I'm sorry, there's not enough time, but I would have shown you the whole process.
Okay.
So you just put her ID number. So when she comes to your house, put an ID number, and then it brings out her information.
All right.
And if somebody had, or it's been blacklisted for something, like she stole, or she abused a child or whatever, you'll be able to see. So here we're allowing parents now to be able to share information.
All right.
And to get information beforehand of anybody who's coming into their home to take care of their children.
Okay.
So it's all about safety, not just about child traceability, but also the people who are coming into your home. You just don't get a plumber from the streets because you saw a sign, they're a plumber on, or whatever.
Yeah.
You just go to the app and you get the ones who are vetted. So in this case, if anything happens in your home, you have a point of reference.
Okay.
Yeah, so every service here, like daycare centers, you look for daycare center. How do you know that this daycare center has been vetted,
All right.
and it's good for your child. So we do all the work for you so that you don't have to do all that walking around.
Okay, Mother, do we have cases where you've rescued a child, taken them to another home, and then they're also, abused there?
There are instances where that has happened.
And what happens?
And it is quite unfortunate. The case has to take its course. The case has to go to the court, definitely. Because it's a crime that has happened.
Okay.
And this child needs justice. We have rescued this child. We have brought this child to a home for safe shelter. And then something happens and this child is abused. What are we doing to this child? We have removed this child from an environment that was not safe for him or her. We have brought him to this other home where we thought that this child will be safe, and something happens. Definitely, we will not sweep that under the carpet. It has to go to the court. It has to be reported to the police, and it has to go to the court.
All right.
Yes.
Can I just add on what
Yes,
Martha is
please.
saying? Research shows that institutions are not the best for children. And actually, there's a moratorium by the government on institutionalization. So there are no more institutions that are being registered in Kenya because there are adverse effects. There's a lot of emotional abuse because, for example, if it's one, they call home mothers, that she's taking care of 6 to 12 children. That's a good home where they have 6 to 6. Can you imagine how much burden she is? So there's a lot of emotional abuse, there's a lot of physical abuse, and especially for younger children below the age of 3. Those children, they lose every month they spend in a children's home. They lose like 3 days of their lives.
All right.
So it's not good, and a lot of I know now government is working on fostering, and I would encourage Kenyans out there go to Department of Children's Services and register as a foster parent, so that, for example, if Childline calls and they have an abused children, they don't have to take that child to a children's home where they're experiencing more abuse.
Yes.
But they can go into a home-based care where they can get that love and care and support, which they need right to when they're healing the physical and emotional abuse that they have been going through.
All right,
Yes.
Vincent, I'll let you say a parting shot. What can you tell, the citizens about the
Right.
issue of child protection?
Yeah, actually, Kenya, we've been placed in tier 2. So there are tiers that have been placed by the U.S. State Department and I think the UN in terms of countries that are doing something to improve child protection. And like Jenny said, we are a country that are transit and also we harbor. So we are tier 2. We are almost dropping to tier 3 because of lack of evidence. And so these are the things that...
If you see a child that is being abused, please call 116. It is free. Or you can even report to our social medias. We will respond and we will ensure the safetyness of that child.
Okay.
And again, matters to do with children, they are very sensitive. As employers, do not employ young girls as your house helps, because you're denying these children their right to education and other rights. So employers out there, please, please, please do not employ young girls as your house helps.
All right.
And anybody who comes across any form of child abuse or anything that is related to a child, you do not know what to do, please call 116. We are going to provide you with the information that you need on what to do concerning that child.
All right, thank you very much, Jennifer Kaberi, who is a child protection specialist from Missing Child Kenya org. Yes. Next to her, we have Vincent Sila, who is you are the one who invented Malaika, yes?
Yeah, a group of others that we developed.
All right,
yeah.
so you're one of the developers.
Right.
And last but not least, we have Martha Kimani, who is a child protection specialist and also at Child Organization Kenya, yes? Thank you very much for coming to Morning Express and sharing such good ideas on how we can protect our children. Thank you very much. We want to take a short break here on Morning Express, but don't go too far. We come back with more.
This is KTN News.